Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Valley Indie Great Give stream. My name is still Eugene Driscoll, at least for the purposes of this broadcast. And joining me is Ben Wheeler, a Scout executive for the Housatonic Council Boy Scouts of America. Hello, Ben.
Thank you so much for having me. Hello.
It is my pleasure. If anybody wants to donate to support the Boy Scouts here in the Naugatuck Valley, you can go to, let me make sure I get the website right, thegreatgivect.com. Thegreatgivect.com. I will share it real quick, Ben, if you don't mind, just to show people what to do. There's a million ways to get there. You can go to this website and just under find an organization to support. Guess what? Click it, type Boy Scouts, Ben's organization will show up. Now, of course, the Housatonic Council, I mean, this is the OG scouting troop or scouting organization here in the Valley. It's been around over 100 years, I believe.
That's correct.
And you were just sharing with me before we went live, membership, enrollment, however you refer to it, is going well from what I understand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's been overwhelming interest from families here in the Valley. Our first join night, we had close to 100 families join at an elementary school in Derby. For the first time in the 113 years in the Boy Scouts of America, our council has surpassed year-end membership growth in the month of April, which is just outstanding. So we've got a lot of really good momentum.
So as someone explained it, like I am a moron. That's on the public record. So usually you have your membership goals by to meet by December, 31st. And you're saying you've hit it in April. You said
in April.
Okay, yeah. Why is that? What's going on? What's with this resurgence in scouting locally?
Absolutely. You know what? I think we've got a lot of modern, innovative programs that
that you or me. Okay, that was you. Good job there. Yeah. You're smoother than I am. Sorry.
Yeah, we have you know what? We have our programs are more relevant today than ever before. As far as character development, citizenship training, personal fitness, we're doing. You know, we've thought about what's the Pinewood Derby. A lot of people are familiar with Pinewood Derby. We've thought about what's going to be the Pinewood Derby of the 21st century. So our council has taken a very STEM-oriented approach, and we're doing drone derbies where the kids are going to build and race drones. That's on a lot of children's Christmas lists, on a lot of parents' Christmas lists, and the kids are really excited to get into the outdoors doing something educational.
And then in terms of the Housatonic Council, I mean, I'm familiar with like Troop 3 in Derby and everything they do over the since the Valley Indie launched in 2009. But this is all encompassing, right? How many troops or whatever the terminology is does the Housatonic Council encompass?
Yeah, so right now we serve 31 units, but we're fast growing. And that's correct. So Pack 3 in Derby was actually the first Cub Scout program in the country. It was actually a pilot program. So the Cub Scouts is grades, kindergarten through 5th. Then there's Scouts BSA, which is 6th grade through 12th. And then 5 years ago, the Boy Scouts of America welcomed girls into those traditional programs, Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA. So we've already grown the number of young women we serve in the Valley by over 300% this spring.
And so you're getting you're getting hit with text messages from people wanting to join.
That's exactly what's happening.
That's you, right? I just want to make sure. I'm getting text messages as well. It's like that's always the way. Yeah, that's amazing. So, the growth.
So Scouts started in 1910. The Cub Scout program in this country officially launched in 1930, and Cub Scouts, the pilot program, started here in the Housatonic Council in 1927 in Derby. So a little cool bit of scouting history.
Yeah, and so what's your background, Ben? Where are you from, and what got you involved in scouting, and why did you stick with it?
Yeah, I was born and raised in the Chicagoland area. Started off as a Tiger in 1st grade. Back then, that was the earliest you could start. Now you can start in kindergarten as a Lion, but I started as a Tiger, worked my way up through Eagle, earned at the time a record 125 merit badges offered by the Boy Scouts of America. I actually had even earned more merit badges than were even available at the time because I earned water skiing. That was too difficult for youth. They changed it to water sports. Really loved the program. Never knew you could really work for Scouts professionally until I was working on behalf of my company at a job fair in Chicago. The Boy Scouts were there. It seemed like a natural fit. Started in December 2014, took a district that had around about 1,200 youth in Chicago, grew it to 2,400 in 1 year. Repeated this membership growth, and then went to grad school, studied marriage and family therapy. Not a lot of guys in that field, but it's actually very applicable to what we do in scouting, because scouting is about building, sustaining, repairing relationships in the community. And then, yeah, I really believe in the mission of Scouts, and I got back into it as a volunteer after grad school, living in the Milwaukee area, and was a unit commissioner. I've been a Cub Master of a unit that has 104 children in it. And
how'd you wind up local? How'd you wind up here in the Valley? See, I just assumed you were like from Derby or something like that. Chicago. How'd you wind up here?
So, yeah, because of some of the membership successes and innovative programming, there was an opportunity here in the Housatonic Council. It seemed like a good match with my kind of abilities to grow scouting here, and I'm loving every second of it. So,
and when did you start here in the Valley?
Yes, I started officially on December 1st.
Oh, wow. So you're relatively new as well. So how does scouting and the organization locally, does it differ at all from what you experienced in Chicago?
Yeah, you know what? Each kind of council has its kind of unique kind of camp.
It's kind of a dumb question. After I asked it, it's kind of a dumb question. It's okay to say that's a dumb question, but I guess I was trying to get you to brag a little bit about the strengths of scouting locally. Like, what did you come into? What impressed you about what you saw?
Exactly. That's kind of what lured me. There's a really great reputation in New England for scouting. It's a multi-generational thing. We have a lot of that going on in our council, especially, you said Troop 3, grandfather, son, grandchild. We are, something I'm really proud about in Housatonic Council is we broke ground on a new camp in the Valley in Seymour, which is just,
I wasn't aware of that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be a local thing. So a lot of our families in the Valley, instead of maybe driving 55 minutes an hour to camp out in Oxford at our Camp Strang, our historic camp, 15
it's beyond Oxford. It's I can't remember what town it is, but yeah, Camp Strang is beyond
in Goshen.
Goshen. Okay.
Yep. And then, so yeah, here in the Valley in Seymour, 15-minute drive, and you can experience the joys of scouting with your family and your unit. So,
and that opened, that's a functioning camp here in Seymour, you said?
Exactly. We've already got families camping on it, and we will run our first Cub Scout day camp the first 2 weeks of August this summer, 2023.
Can people still sign up for that daycare or day camp, or is it been?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. The best way to
do
that is call our office or visit our website, Housatonicbsa.org.
Housatonic, BSA.org, you said?
Correct. Yeah,
I would put that on there, but it would take me too long to type. I apologize. But all right, so today, I mean, we're taping this in advance of the Great Give, and it's going to play during the Great Give. So as people are watching this, you can donate to the Housatonic BCA right now. Do you have any dollar amount?
I would say, part of the reason you asked me, why did I get back into this? Why am I out in the schools? For me, what moved me is I was in an elementary school and a child came up and gave me a big bear hug and said, "Are you God? Is this heaven?" They were so excited to join Scouts. I was at a spring recruitment event where a family came up, and, we were going to give this family a book for a first grader, and the dad says, "No, you know what? Our son's actually in third grade. His growth has been stunted a little bit because he just beat leukemia. We weren't sure if he was gonna make it, but for 2 years, all he's been talking about during his cancer treatments was joining Cub Scouts and doing the Pinewood Derby." So we're out here changing lives. It's kind of a feel-good story, a God wink for us to keep going, that we're on the right path.
Yeah, that's good to hear, and thank you for sharing that. And I had I've been asking you, are there any specific dollar amount you hope to raise today during the Great Give, or do you have this money earmarked for any special projects that you're
Yeah,
looking to, the organization's looking to
absolutely.
undertake?
Yeah, so here's a couple things we're trying to do with the money raised today. One, we are the blessing is we have so many families joining our program. By summer, we will have already doubled the number of families we serve here in the Valley. So we have to build.
Wow.
We can't even fit all the children and adult leaders we have in our dining hall at our camp. So we are looking to fundraise for that. We have a very generous contractor who's going to donate all the labor, but we just have to supply the building materials. So we're looking at about $600,000 in building materials. We have about $200,000 start into that capital campaign. That's one thing we're trying to raise money towards to fill that remainder $400,000. And then also just like I said, we've got so many new youth. We're looking to build, just purchase new Made in America canvas tents. So yeah, those are
yeah,
about
very. And in terms of that,
$550, but they're going to last us decades.
say that again because I stepped on you, so people didn't hear.
Yeah,
Say the cost
absolutely.
again.
Those tents each are about $550. And they'll last us decades. So many youth will be able to use them throughout the years.
And then the camp project, is that this Camp Strang, or is that the Seymour camp?
Yes.
Where you want to do the project?
That is Camp Strang in Goshen. And we're looking to break ground on that in August.
Nice. Okay. So those are the specific goals, and so that people can see their dollars if they choose to donate. And people should. I mean, the Housatonic Council, BCA, does so much for the Valley and has for over 100 years, which is just, it's a long time. I don't know if people are aware of that.
You know, when I think about when people donate to a lot of organizations, they want to make sure, hey, are they being thrifty? That's actually in the Scout laws. The Scout is thrifty. We've only got 2 employees, so their dollars are going straight, not to employee salaries, but they're going straight to infrastructure improvements at our camps to serve more families.
Yeah, that's great to hear as well. When you look back, can I ask your age? I don't mean to be.
Absolutely.
How old are you?
You know what? I turned 32 in February.
God bless. 32 years old. And so then how long have you?
Youngest Scout exec in the country out of the 247 councils. So.
Oh, no kidding. Right here in the Valley. That's great to hear. 32 years old. And how many years have you been?
Our council is the first of many. We were the first council in the early 90s to have a female Scout exec. So we're really paving the way on a lot of different fronts.
And then how long have you been involved in scouting out of your 32 years?
Yeah, I've been involved with Scouts 26 years of my life. So I started as a 6-year-old, and here I am. 30,
That's amazing.
32. Yeah.
And then
what I love about Scouts, I did sports in college. I was in band and orchestra. I was in a lot of activities. But Scouts is the only youth organization where parents don't watch from the stands. They get right in on the action, making memories for a lifetime with their child.
That's good to hear. If you look back over your, I think you said 26 of your 32 years involved in scouting, is there any particular event or memory that jumps out? Your favorite scouting event?
Yeah.
Or memory? How's that for a reporter question? Boom.
Yeah. Wow. I have a couple. For me, I would say growing up in an urban area, for me, it was earning farm mechanics merit badge as a youth. There was no farm mechanic, as in my quest to earn all the merit badges, there was no farm mechanics merit badge council in the Chicagoland area. So the ranger up at camp took me to a John Deere dealership, and just learning about those big combines, it was just a unique experience for a young person, a city kid who would have never otherwise had a chance to do that. So yeah, kind of on the youth side, that was one of my things. But for me, what I really love is really my Duty to God award. These are knots that kind of adult leaders wear. The red, white, and blue ones for Eagle. The middle one is for completing the Cub Scout program, but the purple one is called Duty in God. You have a choice of kind of how you want to wear these on your uniform. I wear the Duty to God one closest to my heart because I think that's more important than earning Eagle. For me, Scouts is about building God's kingdom in our communities. and seeing the smiles on young families, that's what really pushes me to get into that next school and give the next family that opportunity.
Gotcha. And I have a question. Like, I mean, I live in Derby, and
Yeah,
about to have a coughing fit. I apologize in
no
advance.
worries.
And of course, I don't have any water or coffee. I decided to do this without that. But I live in Derby, and in Derby and Ansonia, one thing with like our school districts, we have a lot of kids who move into town and then move out of town. There's a lot of kids who come and go, and there are challenges that presents to the school district, to funding the school district, to fostering a sense of community. Sometimes in our towns, I mean, my kids themselves don't go to school locally, so it's hard to get. Sometimes we feel like we're not connected to our community. And obviously scouting, you're supposed to start at a young age, but what if you have a kid who's in seventh or eighth grade and wants to get involved in the scouts but didn't? Maybe they were somewhere else, and then circumstances were such that they never got involved. Are there options for children like that?
Oh, absolutely. Really, the beauty about scouting, it's for everybody, youth, adults. Adults can, we have many ways for adults to get involved in scouts and be part of that. But as far as the youth side, we've got children right now who are just finishing up 4K who are now eligible to enroll. They're coming out to join nights. They're so
When you say
cute.
4K, what I'm sorry, what is 4K?
So they're pre-kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
They're like 5 years old. They're just finishing up preschool. They're entering kindergarten into the fall.
What about a
So
kid
they're
who's never been involved in it and who's in like seventh or eighth grade? Can you get involved that late in life?
absolutely, absolutely. And the older you get, the more you do more adventurous, more fun things.
And it's not like they
And
have to
that's kind of
start
what
over and get all the merit badges to build up. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so there's certain, time frames. You might have to be in a rank for about 6 months and take on certain leadership opportunities um, within your unit. But those the older you join, the more fun activities you can do. We have something called Sea Base down in off the coast of Key West in Florida. The kids are catching hammerhead sharks. That's a activity you can only do go and enroll in if you're 14 years or older. So
Gotcha. So there
yeah,
are
the older you
programs. So
get,
I
the
didn't
more
know if like
fun.
there was an age, like you could only join the scouts. You couldn't join after age 7. I didn't realize
Yeah, no.
there's no
So
limit. Okay.
The Eagle Award you can only earn up until age 18, but we do offer scouting programs through age 21. So
Gotcha. Okay. I wasn't aware
yeah,
of that. And then
yeah.
in terms of, I mean, you said you're relatively new to the leadership position here in the Valley. Are there any type of programs or major changes that you want to put into effect here locally that maybe you saw work elsewhere?
Yeah. Great question. We
Thanks.
Yeah, these are all very good questions. I would say well, one thing that got me back into it is just really increasing the number of young women we serve. That when I first had joined the profession, it killed me in 2015, 2016. I'd be in the classrooms and the girls are like, "Hey, I'm just as tough as my brother. I want to do a zip line. I want to go kayaking." And now that we are welcoming those girls in, I would say our join nights, close to 50% of the families who come out are families with girls. So
That's
I would
great.
just like to increase the number of young girls that our council serves. And like I said, we're already on great track. We're already at 300% growth in that this year. So really the sky's the limit for us.
That's wonderful. Well, Ben, those are all my questions. Is there anything else that you want to add, perhaps topics that I didn't bring up? Because this is the whole purpose of this live stream today is really to feature the groups that we have on and that people can support through the great give. So let me turn it over to you. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. I would just say thank you. Your dollars really go a long ways with us here in this Housatonic Council towards delivering high quality program to young families. And I would just extend a very sincere thank you.
All
And
right,
yeah, I'd
Ben.
say reach out to us. There's many ways to get involved and how to make an impact in elevating lives here in the Valley.
All right, Ben, I want to thank you again for coming on here today. And I want to encourage anybody listening to please consider supporting the Boy Scouts right here in the lower Naugatuck Valley. Obviously, these are unsung heroes locally here in the Valley. All these organizations, including the Boy Scouts, form the backbone of where we live. So please consider supporting them during the Great Give today. Ben, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.